We purchased 3 outboard motors for our Old Town kayaks. 2 Chinese motors off of Amazon for $230 and 1 Suzuki 2.5 for a lot more. Stick with us as we test these motors on our kayaks, mounting them in various positions and learning which way is the best. Stick with us to find out which is better, the Chinese budget motor or the name brand Suzuki 2.5. Do us a favor, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for all of our projects to watch us figure out and design these motors to fit on our kayaks best for optimal speed and performance. Hope you guys enjoy. He's gonna scoop. Alright guys, I did something bad. So you guys know we've been trying to get out further and further so we get those bigger fish. So we went ahead and pulled the trigger on a Chinese motor, bought on Amazon for 200 bucks. This is the Hankai 3.6 2-stroke. Believe it or not, we've got 2 more on the way. We've got an actual name brand Suzuki 2.5, and we've got another Chinese one. I'm not even sure what the brand is on that one, but it's a 4-horse, 4-stroke. And we're gonna put them all in the kayaks, testing them all out side by side. This is the first one we get here, so we're doing unbox it. See what we got in here. I will say off the bat, it's extremely lightweight. Like the box weighs almost nothing. It looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Just to show you guys how lightweight this thing is, I've got it on a chair here on the back, and it doesn't even tip it over. Hankai, it's got a little China certification. Wow, that's fancy. They take pride in their work, as you can tell. Okay. I'm honestly kind of impressed. So right here, we've got all 3 of the motors lined up. We've got the motor that we already showed you, the Hankai 3.6 2-stroke. Got this one right here. This is the 4-stroke, 4-horse, also Chinese Amazon motor. And we got the Suzuki 2.5, okay? We have been testing all 3 of these throughout the week. Various positions on the kayak, from the back to the pedal drive area. You can see they all have the pedal drive. That's how we switch them right now. But I'm gonna throw some clips in there right now of how we've been testing these things out, how they've been doing, and our favorite spots. So this was our first test in the pond with it on the rear of the kayak. Awesome. We then took the Hankai out to the ocean for a top speed test, and we got about maximum 5 miles an hour with it on the back. We even got to test out the Suzuki 2.5 on the back of my dad's boat, which it was a lot faster than the Hankai 3.6, but it still wasn't as fast as we were looking for. But we believed we could get it to ride a little bit smoother with it in the front instead of the back. We've done a few mounting designs. This was our second one. So our first design, we had it parallel with these bolt holes here. This is actually the shallow anchor mount for the PDL 106. for things like power pole or maybe even a small trolling motor. But we originally had the board kind of run like this with those screws going off the corner here, and what we noticed was that the kayak kind of wanted to lean a little bit when you hit the gas. She didn't want to sit very flat and level, and I think we were losing some speed because it wasn't very center. So we moved it straight, and we just realigned the bolt holes to be more of like a diamond shape. And we slapped this awesome transom plate on here, right here, really solid, doesn't move at all. These holes that came stock in the kayak are reinforced with steel threading, so they're pretty solid. And this actually worked out pretty well. I like this one. We had a throttle extension on here. I'll throw in some more clips of that. All right, we're gonna go ahead and shoot the top speed on this sucker. The Hankai 2.6 mounted on the back. Let's see what we can do. Open throttle right there. We're getting that was pretty comfortable. But what ended up being our favorite design was actually a transom mount in the front. And what we ended up doing, like you saw on those motors in there, was we put the PDL casing onto the motor. We just bolted it on there, and it all fits down right there. We bolted on right here. How we have mounted the kayak is we took out the main screw that goes in the track right here in the front, and we ran a bolt all the way through the kayak, reached our hands up through here with a wing nut, and tighten that down with some washers. And I mean, this thing is solid, does not move. And with that motor on there, what we noticed is it actually runs a lot better, because with the motor in the back, we noticed there was a lot of drag accumulating right around here in the front. The boat just didn't want to move. It was pushing a lot of water, and we were a little worried that we were only going to get like 5-6 miles an hour tops out of these things. But once we mounted them up here in the front, we noticed we gained another like 2-3 miles an hour.
Yours is literally just throttle, right?
Yep. 3, 2, 1, go! They just ended up doing way better with that motor in the front versus the back. What I believe the reason is that these kayaks are designed to have the pedals and all the force up here in the front, not in the back. They're designed to be pulled. And so when you put that motor on the back, it ends up just kind of plowing water. But when you put that motor up in the front where the PDL normally goes, she actually rides a lot smoother and almost wants to get up and plane, we've noticed. We haven't gotten to do a lot of top speed runs yet with the Suzuki 2.5. I believe that's going to be our fastest motor. The 4-horse Amazon motor, we maxed it out at about 8.5 miles an hour, which is pretty good. That was very exciting. And the Hankai 2.6 two-stroke was kind of a disappointment. We got a max out of that one about 6 miles an hour, on like more like 5 consistently. So that one's probably the worst. It's not a bad motor. It runs good, but it just doesn't rev up very high. It doesn't have a lot of power. But that 4-stroke has a lot of power. Same for the Suzuki 2.5. That thing scoots. But we're thinking right now we're in the braking period of that Suzuki, but about half throttle, it almost keeps up with that 4-horse Amazon motor at about 8 miles an hour. So we're thinking maxed out. We're hoping to get almost 10 miles an hour out of it, which is going to be really cool. Be able to get along pretty fast out there in the ocean, get some deeper water. One of the things we are currently working on is how to fill this hole. You can see here we have the casing here bolted on, which doesn't work bad. It works, but we're a little worried we're going to be damaging these. It's kind of wedged here in this motor. We have it bolted onto the front, but it's loose. We're worried that with time, these are going to kind of break and wear out, and we're still not getting a great seal up here in the front. It's got this big hole here. So what I did is I went ahead and cut out a new plate out of 1/2-inch plywood that fits down in there that we can lock down and keep the water out. I've already tested this once, but it doesn't have a good seal. It's tight, but we still get water pushing up and through here. So what we're thinking about doing is, pull it out here, running some like foam seal across the edges here, like the PDL has, so that this gets a better seal along this edge and the water doesn't come up, and cutting out a notch here for the motor to go down into and fit tightly with foam around there as well, so that when we put that motor down, we can just go ahead and slide this right in here, bolt it down, motor right here. That's the plan. If you guys have any suggestions or any ideas for how we can do this PDL system with the motors and how to get the seal better top speeds, any ideas you have, go ahead and drop them in the comments. We'd love to give them a look, maybe give them a shot. Really appreciate it. Stay tuned for part 2. When we have all of these a little more dialed in and ready to go on some offshore trips. Thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.